Nice guy, always very confident, always very quiet, so he's never creating any problem, but the problem there is technical problem. Kalvin Phillips needs to play. He's saying that in public and in private even more. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. And today guys, we touch as always on all the latest. We mention what happens with Frenkie de Jong after the statement of the president of Barcelona, Juan Laporta, some story around Kalvin Phillips and Manchester City, important to clarify what happened there, and also Mitoma and Brighton, what happens. Let's jump into it together. Let me start today's video by mentioning Mitoma, a really important player for Brighton, a really important week for Brighton because they extended the contract of the Japanese winger, one of the best wingers in the Premier League, very good player with many clubs attentive to his situation, but Brighton have been able to extend his contract till 2027. That's a really important extension for the club. We know Brighton are always very good in their strategy, and so the agreement has been signed, but also we had rumors about Barcelona and Mitoma. Why we had those rumors, guys? From what I'm hearing, we have those rumors because a scout from Barcelona was in England to keep an eye on Brighton performances recently for Ansu Fati. So to keep an eye on the development of Ansu Fati at Brighton. He's on loan there, as we know very well, and obviously keeping an eye on many other players, including Mitoma. But Barcelona never starting that in concrete negotiation for Mitoma, also because that would be super expensive. So Barca never entered into any concrete negotiation for Mitoma, and now with Brighton extending his contract, the situation will be very quiet around the Japanese winger. And as we know, guys, the situation is not that quiet around Kalvin Phillips. He's super professional, he's super nice guy, always very confident, always very quiet, so he's never creating any problem, but the problem there is technical problem. Kalvin Phillips needs to play. He's saying that in public and in private even more. He needs to play football. He can't be always on the bench. He wants to go to the Euros. He wants to be an important player for the English national team and for his club. And at Manchester City, he's almost never playing. In the summer, he had many possibilities. He decided to reject because he wanted to continue at City, to fight for a place at City, but now it's almost November and he's still never playing. So the feeling of sources on both player and club side is that in January is very likely that Kalvin Phillips will leave Manchester City to try a different experience. Let's see the club, let's see if it's going to be a loan deal or maybe a permanent deal. We have to see. This will be decided like end of November, beginning of December. We will understand more on this story, or maybe January directly. It depends on the timing, but at the moment still nothing concrete, just a feeling that Kalvin Phillips has really concrete possibilities to leave Manchester City. The direction of the story is very clear, and so for Kalvin the expectation is to leave City in the January transfer window. Of course, it has to be the right proposal. City never give their players for free, obviously important players like Kalvin Phillips, so has to be the right proposal for the player and for the club, but this is a concrete possibility. And then guys, moving into Frenkie de Jong, the president of Barcelona, Juan Laporta, said in a public statement on Saturday that Barcelona received 100 million euros proposal for Frenkie de Jong, and they decided to say no because they wanted to keep Frenkie for the consistency of the squad and because he's key player. Guys, this story is real, but it's from summer 2022. You remember that Manchester United wanted Frenkie de Jong. Erik ten Hag was prepared to spend that money for Frenkie de Jong, but in that case was Frenkie who said, I want to stay at Barcelona. He's always been very happy at Barça as a club, as a city. Now he's going to become a father very soon. He's very happy with his family, he's very happy with the manager. So Frenkie is very happy at Barcelona. That was never possible in 2022 for Frenkie to accept a transfer to Man United, and so that possibility for 100 million euros was rejected by Barcelona, also because the player was very happy to stay at Barça. And for Frenkie de Jong, at the moment the situation is super quiet. The appreciation of Erik ten Hag for de Jong will remain, I think, forever, because he's always been a big fan of the player. But at the moment the situation is pretty clear around Frenkie, that he's very happy at Barcelona, he's very happy in Barcelona as a city, and his contract extension will be discussed very soon, as Barça director Deco mentioned. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on Frenkie de Jong, Kalvin Phillips and many other stories, including Mitoma, here in the comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon with Fabrizio. Ciao.